What's up, guys? My name is John. I am a musician, primarily on Instagram and TikTok. So lately, within the past 6 months, I've had a couple of videos blow up. One of the videos in particular that I'm talking about is the NFL video. So if you haven't seen that, it's this right here. And also, you guys might recognize the Halo video that I did. One of the ones that did really good was my Star Wars video.
No, thank you. But here's the Star Wars theme.
So over the past couple of months, I received a lot of DMs and comments, basically just asking me how I do a lot of the stuff that I do as far as recreating these sounds on my keyboard. So I'd love to break some of that stuff down for you and show you guys kind of what it is that I do, as well as going through some comments and answering some of your questions. So without further ado, we're just gonna get right into it. So this is a really good question. I don't know if they want me to share their name, but so how do you play different instruments on the keyboard? Like, I get that you can assign certain keys or areas to different instruments, but your Wii Menu video had both the keyboard sound plus the violin sound. Do you have a pedal or something to switch, or was it recorded prior with overlays, or did you use the original Wii song? So that's actually a really good question. So with the Yamaha keyboard, you can program basically anything. You could make it do anything that you want. And down over here on the bottom, I have a Yamaha FC7 foot pedal, which then is assigned to this knob right here. This is called the super knob. You can actually assign it to any parameter on the keyboard that you want to. You can assign it to any parameter and any knob. So if I'm playing something where I want a string part to come in at a certain section, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to program the foot pedal so that when it lifts up, it's going to trigger the super knob and increase the volume on a certain parameter, whether it's going to be a certain track or whatever. Over in this patch, I have a couple of different sounds. I have this sort of Rhodes sound and I have a string sound. But the string sound only comes in when I want it to. I attach the volume of the strings to my mod wheel. So the mod wheel, as I bring it up, it brings in the string sounds, which is awesome. Now in the video, I had that volume attached to my foot pedal. So as I brought my foot pedal up, it brought in the strings, and then as I brought it down, it took the strings away. So that's how I was able to do those really quick sort of transitions, right? And that's something that goes off camera. You don't really see it because not many people really care to see the foot switch. So if I were to play it, it's going to sound something like this. So as you can see, when I want to introduce the strings, I bring it up. And that was just assigned to my foot pedal. So that's how I do a lot of these crazy transitions. It all comes down to the programming. That's part of the reason why keyboard is so much fun. It's just you're able to do stuff like that. So let's go on to the next question. I just had to throw my jacket on. It's getting a little cold in here. I did another video where I was playing all classic Pokemon not Pokemon themes. I was playing a bunch of classic retro themes, right? From retro video games from back in the day on Game Boy and all that stuff. So we'll break down this Pokemon theme really, really quickly. In Pokemon Red and the Game Boy specifically, they had these sound chips, right? And these sound chips were specifically made to create chip tunes. Chip tunes are little chips that only are able to play 4 different kinds of sine waves. Some of them were more advanced, were able to play, I think, like 8 different kinds of sine waves, 8 different kinds of waves, excuse me. So there was sine waves, there was square waves, there was sawtooth waves, and there was noise. If I'm not mistaken, it's something like that. So a lot of the times when they had these sort of melodies, right? Those were just square wave sounds. So on the Yamaha Montage or on any sort of elaborate keyboard, you could make these square waves and you could recreate them to make them sound like the original thing. You know, with a couple of filters and like a couple of things, you're able to make it sound pretty authentic to the original song. So with Pokemon Red, that's what I did. I just used square waves, and in the left hand, I use, I think, a sine wave, and I sort of made it a little bit more nasally so it wasn't as pure, right? So, see, I don't even know if I played that right. So I remember I got a comment on this one, which was my other Star Wars videos where I did the Darth Vader theme, the Imperial March. So I don't remember where the comment was. It's difficult to find some of these comments, but basically they were actually asking me what I was doing with my hand. So I was doing in order to get these sort of triplet sounds. That's one of the things that makes songs sound really good, because a lot of people do. It's actually quintuplet notes, so I don't even think I do quintuplets in the video, but you're supposed to do bum bum ba da dun 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 dun. Oh, that's really, really difficult to do. I don't even know how I did that. So this is actually another really, really cool one. So this was the original Star Wars video that I did. And with the original Star Wars video, I had a bunch of different sounds going on. I programmed the out of this patch. So down over here in the bass, and I'll give you an example of these programming things that I do. See how as I hit it lightly, so if I hit it harder, it triggers a timpani, and it triggers, I don't even know if that's the way to say it. Now, another cool programming thing that I have was all the way at the top here at this high B flat. This, if you listen in the actual recording, there's a high B flat that rings out, and it's just strings. So as you pair all of this together, and that's another thing right there is, God, I'm playing it so bad. I don't even remember how to play it anymore. I'm sorry to disappoint. This video sucks. Just unsubscribe. So it was very difficult to do. But one of the cool things I think was really, really awesome about it was instead of doing, I was doing, it's those little horn sections, those little triplets, those little quintuplets that really make the song stand out. They sound so cool. Oh, here's the other thing that I forgot to mention too. That high B flat sustaining, that's actually me holding the foot pedal. So I'm pressing the foot pedal down. So now if you listen to that, you'll hear that the bottom B flat is holding out. But this is not ringing out. So I have the sustain pedal attached to certain notes because I don't want every note to ring out when I play the sustain pedal, right? Because I got to be doing. So I got to be doing that sort of stuff in my left hand while I got to be doing that stuff with my right hand as well. And if it were all sustained out together, it's going to sound pretty bad. With something like this video, it's just a simple split in the left hand. So I'm a huge Spongebob fan, in case you couldn't tell by my sweatshirts and stuff. This one was particularly easy to do. So all I did was I just went in my standard sounds of the Yamaha montage, and I found something that was pretty close to the original. And so in the right hand, you're playing something like that, and in the left hand, I don't even exactly know what sound it is. It sounds like an accordion, right? It's very like Sailor-esque. So that's just a simple split too, and that was a fun one to go through. This one had to have been one of my favorite ones that I've done. This was the Super Smash Bros. Brawl theme. It's just such an awesome sound. It was probably one of my favorite sounds ever. Now, granted, Smash Brawl, was probably one of the worst games out of all of the Smash series, but their soundtrack was fire. Their soundtrack was the best soundtrack out of anyone besides Melee, I think, in my opinion. They're all really good, but this one was awesome. So for the programming of this, I had I had these sort of intense like battle horns going on, right? And see how it's not super like ba 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 ba. It swells into it. Da 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 da. So I programmed the attack so it didn't come in as harsh or as aggressive. So it gives you that sort of like flow into those next notes. Now in the left hand, I have these sort of intense string sounds that are very like, they're very pulsating. They're very, and you put them together. Another thing with this programming, which I think is super, super awesome, this bass note, I actually have a duplicate bass note on top of this. And you can hear it's got like a really deep sort of sound to it, right? But you could hear that they're not just singular octaves. I actually have these notes pinned, so I have duplicates of that track, which are all an octave below the original. So you could hear when I play this, you could hear that like really, really deep, rich, aggressive sound, right? It's just such an awesome sound. It was probably one of my favorite sounds ever in any video that I did. I don't know, do you want to do one more? Maybe we could do one more. I played that a little bit wrong, so forgive me on it. So let's go over the programming of this song, because this one was just so much fun. You can hear in the left hand, we'll start with the bass note. In the left hand, I have these horns. And you can hear that sort of bass drum. I think it's called a timpani. I don't know what it's called, timpani, whatever. I don't know the name of it. I have it synced with sort of these horns in the bass. So as I play a little bit more aggressively, you're gonna hear that at certain parts there's like sort of cymbal crashes that come in. It's like bum bum tsh, da, da, tsh, da, da, tsh, da, da, tsh. I programmed it in a way where my right hand, like if I play the top part of that melody, bum 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 bum, that's when it triggers the cymbals, right? So you can hear that D, it's not triggering anything, but as soon as I go up to A, it triggers the horns and it triggers the cymbal as well. So you put it all together, then that's where you get that sound from. It is just so much fun. It's just so much fun. I don't know how to explain it. Especially once you get into all this programming stuff. It just makes everything so awesome. So I'm going to do another video in the future answering some people's questions and answering some breakdowns on how I do some of this stuff on the keyboard. I'm going to actually do another video on how I grew my following from 1,000 followers to 40,000 followers in just a couple of months. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that video, and I'm going to break everything down, like how much I made in my first month of being monetized, how long it took me to be monetized. So that's that. That's the breakdown of this. I'm also going to be doing a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff around here. So let me know what you guys want to see. I know a lot of people wanted to see full breakdowns of the songs that I do on Instagram, so maybe I'll be doing some of that. But other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. Again, my name is John, and I'll see you in the next video.